Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the conversation series.
Because creators are businesses.
What we do is not simple.
Give, the fans everything that they deserve.
Being creative
is like doing a 5,000 piece puzzle.
is something that you can learn and do over and over again.
Always be as authentic as I can be.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the conversation series. I am thrilled today to have one of the co-founders of 21Seeds, Kat Hantas, here with me. Kat, thank you for joining with me today.
It's so much fun to be here.
I am so excited to dive into 21Seeds, what you and your two other co-founders have created. It's before 21Seeds was a brand, it was kitchen experiments, which I absolutely love. Can you jump in and describe that first moment that when you knew your infused tequila actually had legs?
Yeah. I mean, I would say it was like two parts.
Okay.
It had legs for me personally, just as a consumer as just someone who consumes an infused tequila. When I needed an alternative to wine. I was a wine drinker, really enjoyed it, a couple glasses a night. And then when I hit 35, for whatever reason, like it just stopped agreeing with me.
Okay.
I'd have a couple glasses of wine, go to bed that night and wouldn't sleep well, have some night sweats, wake up as if I had been partying. And I thought, what is happening? So I was doing some research, really wanted to figure this out. Went to my doctor. I thought I was in menopause. And he's like, no, let's see what you're eating and drinking. And then told him about how I'd finished my night off with a couple of glasses of wine. He's like, there's the culprit. So there's a lot of organic living material in fermented spirits like wine, champagne, beer that just goes away when you move over to a distilled spirit like tequila, like Blanco tequila. And so he recommended that I switch from wine to Blanco tequila. And I was just like, wow, that's aggressive for a Tuesday night. How do I go from
like a weekend kind of situation?
Exactly. I was just like, that to me just seems awful. I find tequila to be incredibly harsh.
Yeah.
And, and just really strong for just sort of an easy, relax and unwind occasion at the end of the night. Like that just felt aggressive. But I stopped drinking wine and I thought, what am I going to do to this tequila to make it as easy to drink as a glass of wine and honestly as enjoyable, right? It wasn't like I was just wanting to get drunk or buzzed. I wanted to enjoy something at the end of my night. So I love to cook and I thought I'm just going to infuse this tequila and see what happens, and completely changed it. That's when I knew and that was amazing for me, that moment, because it really did change it totally, right? It cut the harshness, it made it incredibly smooth. Super important, it didn't make it sweet, right?
Interesting.
It just imparted a hint of flavor. So it was super smooth, not sweet, very flavorful. And then I could just, add club soda and a slice of orange and drink it in a wine glass. And that was half the calories of a glass of wine. So it was winning on all fronts. It tasted incredible. It didn't have the sugar of wine. It didn't have the calories of wine. And so really, it was it solved all my pain points. And I did that. A lot of people don't know this. I did that for 8 years before I decided to turn it into a business. So it was really working for a long time.
I love that. When you were in the kitchen and working on all these different infusions, what did your kitchen smell like?
So, good question. That was actually what made my husband be like, maybe you should start, thinking about doing this as a business. Because it was fresh, right? It was I was using all this fresh produce, cucumbers, jalapenos. My first infusion that I ever made, which is another little trivia, was the cucumber jalapeno infused tequila. And that is our #1 seller to this day, which is, we have 3 infusions. We have the cucumber jalapeno, the Valencia orange, which is amazing in a margarita or just literally any cocktail. And that's the one I drink every night with club soda and a slice of orange. And then the grapefruit hibiscus, which is awesome in a Paloma or, just again with club soda, like any flavor of club soda with the grapefruit, if that's your citrus that you prefer. And I kind of find people are either orange citrus people or grapefruit citrus people. It's fascinating. But it smelled like all the amazing fresh things I was infusing it with. It also smelled like tequila. So until the infusion was finished. Then when the infusion was done, it smelled the tequila. And when you smell 21 Seeds, it smells like it's been freshly infused. And in fact, that's what got us on the O list early on. Oprah actually infuses her own tequila. She also made the switch a long time ago, and that's all she really drinks is tequila. And she infuses her own tequila. And when she tasted ours, they had made her, a spicy marg using our cucumber jalapeno infused tequila. And she thought that there's no way this came out of a bottle. Like this was just freshly infused. And they showed her the bottle and she's like, those are going on my O list. So we made the O list like kind of right after we launched, which was exciting.
That's fantastic. And if people who don't know 21 Seeds, it's you, your sister, and then a friend of yours. A lot of people have great ideas with friends and family, but few actually turn them into successful businesses like you guys have done. What has made this trio work?
Yeah. The biggest factor is that we all have very separate skill sets.
Okay.
So my sister is a CFO and she's like a whiz with numbers, and she there's nothing that she does that I want to do. Like there's no part of her job that I want to do. And same with Sarika, our other founder, who is all, product, like bringing the product from kitchen to shelf, commercializing it, supply chain, trucks, like getting it, like he handles all the logistics, like all operations from that perspective was all her. And I was all like sales, marketing, and ideation, like actually creating the product, actually creating the recipes. That was my lane. So the fact that we had different skill sets and really truly, it's people say that a lot, like, oh, find complementary skill sets also, for partners in life.
Yeah.
But then they don't actually adhere to it or actually practice that. When you truly do have separate lanes and you don't, and then plus respect, super important, then it hums. It really goes quickly, smoothly. And we didn't encounter any issues whatsoever between the three of us, between being in business with my sister and one of our close friends.
Yeah. Is there a scrappy behind the scenes moment from those early days that people wouldn't believe now? Maybe it's something that's a little messy or hilarious that you just look back on and be like, yeah, this is the starting of 21 Seeds.
Yeah, no, totally. So for us, it was, because we are using actual real ingredients, we had at a smaller scale, we had infused, just much like how, everyone's infused. A lot of people have, right? Like if you've made sangria or if you've infused vodka in college, you put the fruit in and then you gotta you strain it out. And so we had figured out how to do it sort of small scale. And now we'd gone down to Mexico to do our actual first production run. And we hadn't launched the company yet, but we had met with a major retailer here in California called Bevmo. And they had 147 stores. And so we went down there to do the first production run. And we took this idea, this whole concept of how we thought we would be able to infuse at scale, actually infuse. Because I hate, we're in the category of flavored tequila and we're the #1 flavored tequila in the country. But the thing that makes us so great and #1 is because we're actually infused. And that is a big difference. It's not like adding, you're not just adding drops of flavor. So you have to be able to take everything out. It's easy to put everything in and how do you get it all out? And so we go down there and we have this idea of how we're going to do it, and we go to do it, and we start to do that process of pulling everything out. and we're, in town taking photos for the website. And with very quickly, like the whole thing just like shuts down. The distillery is calling us and like, oh, this isn't working.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh God. So we go back to the distillery and we're trying to figure it out. We don't figure it out that night. But there's no like ticking time clock sense of urgency. But then that night, we're at the hotel and we get an email from Bevmo, this major retailer that we had met with in California. And it was a PO. It was actually a purchase order for all 147 stores, all 3 SKUs, which is really unheard of when you think about like selling into a major retailer. Usually they take maybe 1 or 2 of the flavors, maybe they'll try it in a handful of stores, see how it's going to work. But they had tasted these like smaller, at-home samples we had given them and loved them. And they're like, great, delivered that now at scale. So we were like, oh my God, what are we going to do? So we went to the distillery the next day. I had gotten food poisoning that night. So like we were trying, it was just such a hot mess. Like everything that could have gone wrong went wrong. And but we had to like sort of roll up our sleeves, sit down and figure out what turned out to be an incredible innovation that actually allowed us to do this at scale in that moment of just absolute crisis. And we were able to pull it off. And Bevmo actually bought our entire first production run of the product.
That is a crazy story that people would, I bet, just are like, what?
Yeah. It never goes the way you think you're going, it's going to go. Not in construction, manufacturing, like it just never does.
Yes.
So.
I agree with that 100%. And I want to get into this beverage industry. You intentionally broke up the tequila aisle with something that's fresh, that's feminine, and just casual at the same time. What did it feel like for y'all to take a step into this, what's been traditionally a male-dominated spirits category, and kind of rewrite that narrative?
Yeah, no, totally. Well, we really looked at it as that was our white space. When I was making this product at home. I was making this infused tequila. The feedback was amazing. People were loving it, asking me to make bottles for them. So I was getting this great feedback on the actual product, but that doesn't necessarily mean that's a company, right? Then when we sort of said it out loud for the first time, like, oh, maybe we should turn this into a business. And my sister agreed and Sarika agreed to do it with me. We went into the tequila aisle and really looked at the aisle. And at the time, like Casamigos had already sold to Diageo for $1 billion. And so it was like tequila was hugely popular, a lot of new people, a lot of celebrities coming into the space. Yep. But what we noticed was really 2 things. One, all the tequilas were all the same: Blanco, Repo, Reposado, Añejo, all sort of very serious, being marketed like scotches and whiskeys to a male consumer. So that was number 1. And the second observation is most of my friends, my girlfriends were drinking my infused tequila. And then when I was out at bars and restaurants, we launched in 2019, so just before the pandemic. But like the year before that, the past couple years before that, I noticed at bars and restaurants, like people weren't ordering sipping tequila. A lot of girls were ordering tequila, and they were ordering tequila soda, splash of juice, tequila soda, 2 limes, tequila soda, slice of orange. So they were drinking it in this spritz, a lot like the spritz I was making at home with my infused tequila, and then add soda. Yeah. And I thought, this is going to taste so much better if the tequila is infused versus just straight tequila. Just totally. 90% of the work is done. It's going to taste so much better. So it was like a combination of, using it to our advantage that we were women, right? Like we created the product really for women, like first and foremost for women. We knew we'd get the guys. We knew we'd get the guys because like the moms and the women who buy this stuff, it's like they're going to bring it in the household. Guys are going to taste it and they're going to be like, oh, it's delicious. I'm not going to drink it. No, they're going to be like, it's delicious. I want it, So we were super focused on women, and women have different palates than men. So we created this product really, truly for us, first and foremost. And then we knew the guys would like it. And sure enough, that's what happened. And we really used the fact that we were female and female founded and focused on a female consumer to our advantage. That was the white space we filled. So in our case, it helped us to be female in this very male dominated space.
Adding to that, you picked a partner, a distillery down in Mexico that is female led too. What was it like for y'all walking into that distillery for the first time and knowing it was the right one for you?
Yeah. So there, I'll say, we chose that distillery based on the product that they make. Like, that was our number one. Our number one was like, we are going to find the best base tequila out there. That's what we are looking for, regardless of who's making it. Then, when we got down there to tour, we'd already tasted the product and fell in love with it. It was by far the best.
Love it.
And that was the other thing, is that, flavored spirits are almost thought of as an afterthought. Like, in general, it's sort of like, you're not going to take the thinking then was that, like, why would you ever take really, really good vodka, tequila, bourbon, and then flavor it, and I agree, because the way that most stuff is flavored is you add a bunch of flavors and sugar and stuff to it. So like you're doctoring it. But in our case, again, we were trying to make this really amazing premium infused product. So we wanted the best.
Yep.
So so that is what you're getting when you drink 21 Seeds. You're getting a really good quality tequila that is then infused with good ingredients. So that's what we were looking to do. So for us, that was first and foremost. When we got down there to tour the distillery, we were like, whoa, there's all these women working here. Like everywhere you turn, there were women. It's not just that it's female owned, it's female owned. It's a woman, it's family run. Like, it's run by her son, who's actually gay, which is amazing. Also super, very different and unique for down there, and predominantly staffed by women. So that was like, then we knew we were in the right place. Like, look no further. This is it. We're in a good spot here. Yeah. And but for us, the most important thing was that it was the best tequila.
I love that. And you walked us through the flavors earlier with the cucumber jalapeno, grapefruit hibiscus, and the Valencia orange. What was it about these three flavors that was like, these are the three we're going to do? Like, what inspired the creation of these?
Yeah, good question. So we basically just looked to the tequila category and said, okay, what are the most common drinks that people that, have been made historically with tequila? Because I'm assuming those flavors would pair well with tequila. So of course we start with the margarita, which is the number one cocktail in the whole country, period. And that is made with an orange liqueur, right? Like, that's what you add, triple sec or Cointreau or Grand Marnier, that's an orange liqueur. So, and then there's other drinks, like a cantarito is another drink that is made with citruses. So we thought, okay, orange is probably a good thing to pair with tequila, and sure enough it was. And then the second most popular drink with tequila is a paloma, or sometimes people just call it a grapefruit margarita, but like, it's grapefruit juice, lime, and then, tequila with a little sugar. So we thought that's probably another great thing to pair with it. And then I personally love spice, and like jalapenos with, spicy margaritas are the most popular of the margaritas. Like, there's traditional margarita, and then spicy's the most popular second type of margarita. So that also worked out really well. And the thing about the cucumber, we put the cucumber in there to just, you don't really taste the cucumber. It's really like a jalapeno tequila, but the cucumber evens out the jalapeno spice. Yeah, so that's what the cucumber is there for, is to sort of, because jalapeno is very, in spice level from jalapeno.
Absolutely.
So the cucumber allows us to always deliver the same spice level to you, and that's really its purpose in that flavor.
It makes you just want to go make a drink right now. It's almost 5 o'clock my time.
I know. Seriously, yeah, you only got 30 minutes left.
Only 30 minutes. We're almost there. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. You guys say that 21 Seeds is about more than just tequila. It's the seed of something bigger. Has there been a story or a bunch of different stories that you've gotten back that have stuck with you that says like, yes, this is why we went and created 21 Seeds. This is why we do this.
Yeah. I mean, the whole way that we stood this company up was through partnerships, right? Like we were like, listen, we know this is a fun brand. This is a brand that brings people together. You know, these are all of this is our ethos, right? And so even from the beginning, like we are all about, if you're a female brand and you're out there and you are putting together an event and you want tequila for your event, like come to us. You want to do partnerships, come to us. You know, when we were raising money, for example, for the brand, you know, we made it a point to make sure that we always had more women on our cap table than guys. And even to the day that we sold, with the money that we raised, we were predominantly female owned, as in that actually owned the equity of the company brand. So that was always like what we set out to do. And our hope was that we could show the very male dominated spirits industry that you can actually build a brand totally around women and the female consumer. Because that's the other thing. It's one thing to like be a brand that was started by women, but we really went after a female consumer, and sort of unapologetically so, and said, you know, the guys are going to find us. We're focused on the women. And that was very, very, I know it sounds like in 2019 in spirits, that was like unheard of. Unless you were a wine brand.
Yes.
Like wine brands, RTDs, ready to drinks. Yes. But for a hard alcohol like us, we're like, no, we know we can build a successful brand in hard alcohol, tequila, that's just focused on the female consumer. And we did it. And it was hugely successful. And that, our hope is that now that has changed their mind a little. Yep. And the next time a female brand comes through that's, you know, whether it's started by a man or a woman, but focused on that female consumer comes along, they'll be more open to it. So that's something we're really proud of.
What I love about the 21 Seeds website too is y'all have a page of just different seasons, different partnerships, all these different things that you can make all these different types of drinks, recipes, all these based on partnerships, all these different cocktails you can make, which I think is fantastic. And it opens it up that you're leading people to those other partnerships and those other women-led businesses as well. And I think it's such a powerful chain that you guys have created that allows people to just keep going and keep investing and keep buying these women-led businesses, whether it's a mix or something else out there.
Totally. No, totally. And I think that's, you know, we lead with the value props of the brand as opposed to the value props of like, you got to go female. And we feel like that's really worked for us. And I think it's a great way to do it because then it doesn't get so preachy. It's not like, it's more just like, let the product speak for itself. And then all this other stuff will come along and you'll discover that other stuff just sort of organically, which I find that when you're, you know, the stuff that's the most memorable is the stuff that you learn while you're having the best time.
Has there been a moment you transitioned from, or what was the moment that you transitioned from being a creative tinkerer in the beginning in the kitchen to a business builder with national distribution? Yeah.
So there was a moment actually, and I imagine a lot of founders out there have experienced this this moment where, you know, the business suddenly has it's actually like it's a good thing because the business suddenly now is more than just your immediate sphere of influence, right? Like people who are buying your brand are not just like people you know, or people that who you know, who they know even, like say call it the first 1,000 customers,
Yeah.
you know, and like the brand, now people you've never, you from like a whole other part of the country know your brand. And that suddenly you realize like, oh, this thing's going, right? There's that sort of moment where it almost goes from being like, not like a pet project,
Totally.
into like a full-on company where you're like, oh, wait a minute, like I can't do everything that needs to get done in a day anymore. You know, like between us three founders, we can't do all the thousands of things that need to get done in a day. We now need to start building this as a real company, hiring real people, paying people's salaries. Like that was a huge moment for me. And I completely panicked and had like a meltdown. Like it was just like,
Yeah.
yeah, it was very scary. And I turned to my husband. I'm like, oh my God, I don't know if I'm cut out for this. Like, I don't know if I can take it to the next level. Like, I've proven that it's a product, but like, I don't think that I'm the right person to do that, you know? And we have kids. And at that moment, he's just like, hey, listen, look, you probably didn't think you were able to, you know, you probably didn't think that you'd be able to, when I remember when the kids were born, you were like, there was a moment there where you were like panicked, but like, we have teachers, we have, you know, babysitters, you have your mom's helping us. Like, you know, like it took a village and you did it, like it worked. And I was just like, okay, that's a really good analogy. And
Like,
so
thank you.
grounded me again. And you just take it step by step and don't think of the totality of it all. But it was really that moment when it was really hitting and we were selling and we could see that it was going to work. It was very, very, very scary. And, you know, it took a second, like 2 steps backward before I could go 5 steps forward.
Yes. Is it interesting to look back with that analogy that he used to kind of ground you, but even is it interesting to look back now to 2019 where it was probably just the three of you working through all these things and now you've got employees, you've got all these different people, you've got this growth. Is it always just you take a second and be like, this is a different world than it was 6 years ago?
Oh, 100%. And actually through the growth of a company now, you know, that's the other piece is that, you know, in the beginning, you need people who can do everything, right? And then as the company grows, you need experts who can do one thing really well. You know what I mean? And that's always an interesting transition as well, you know, because we went through that phase. Like initially we were like, okay, we need jack of all trade kind of hires.
Yeah.
And then you realize, okay, now we need someone who really understands digital marketing, for example,
Yes.
you know, and that's also an interesting transition. And, you know, hiring's very tricky, and hiring was something that I'm not good at because I hate to disappoint people.
Yes.
You know, I never want to hurt people's feelings. And so I think everyone's great. Yeah, they're great. And I ended up hiring just, you know, I definitely hired the wrong people and then quickly had to get the other pieces, quickly get rid of the wrong people, you know, because rip the Band-Aid off quick, you know, because there's nothing worse than, you know, making a mistake and then living with it for a really long time.
Yes. I personally for myself have been a one-woman show for the longest time, but I got to the point even with this very podcast that I was like, I need help because I'm trying to stand up other parts of the business. I'm trying to do all these other things and grow, but to be able to do that, I need someone that can step in and help. And very recently brought somebody on to be able to help just with the pitching side and be able to say, hey, I've got this list of people that I would love to pitch to. I don't have the time to sit here and do that though. And so it's having to go through and having to find the right people and having to make sure their experience backs up, get on calls, but hiring is a very time consuming thing.
Time consuming, tricky. It's a skill. It's a skill. Do not underestimate how difficult it is to hire great people.
My dad has been known just to build the right teams. And I'm like, dude, you need a trophy or a medal for that, because it is something that, working for several different companies in corporate America, I've been like, I'm watching leaders hire the wrong people because they need to fill a spot as fast as they possibly can instead of actually taking the time to go through the process.
Yeah, for sure.
If you could bottle a message along with each bottle of 21 Seeds that somebody is going to buy, what would you want people to absorb with every sip?
Oh, with every sip. Wow. Uh, I know this, I'll give it to you in something that I actually just recently heard that I've now really incorporated into my life, which I think
Okay.
is the essence of how you should take every sip of 21 Seeds, which is, imagine that you are actually 80 years old and everything has turned out fine. Whatever you're worrying about, life has turned out fine. You live to be the ripe old age of 80, and but you maybe aren't as mobile as you used to be. Maybe you aren't surrounded by the friends that you used to have and the family that's not alive anymore. And for one moment, for one day, or for one cocktail, you are able to go back to this day right now for a hall pass, one day, like you have 24 hours or to the end of that journey. What would you do with that time? And really think about that. And with that, message, take that sip.
Love that.
And
I
finish
love that.
that cocktail and think about like just being in that moment. And like you have a hall pass, you have one day, and then you go back to your 80-year-old self and everything's still fine and you're still alive, but life looks very different then than it does right now.
Absolutely. I want to do just like a fire round quick hits with you. Which 21 Seeds flavor would you pair with some of these scenarios? And you can include a cocktail too if you'd like.
Okay.
Which 21 Seeds flavor if you were going through a breakup?
A breakup, I would say the Valencia orange, because you want to be able to drink a lot of it.
Okay. A creative brainstorm.
The brainstorm, I'd say the cucumber jalapeno, because you want to be firing.
Okay. A reunion with your best friends.
Reunion with best friends, I'd say cucumber jalapeno, because you're going to make a big batch of spicy margs.
Absolutely. A solo dance party.
There's your Paloma, because you got to wear pink. You got to wear pink. You're going to go all girly, all OTT.
If you are just a night cooking in the kitchen.
Cooking in the kitchen, I'd go with the Valencia orange every day in a spritz with a slice of orange in a wine glass.
I love that. First date.
First date, again, I got to go grapefruit hibiscus with the Paloma. Love is in the air. We got to make it pink.
There we go. I love that. If you were to put together a dream guest, 21 Seeds dinner party, dead or alive, who are you inviting?
Anyone on Bravo. Any of the housewives, Southern Charm, will take the whole thing. Anyone on Bravo is invited.
There we go. I love it. What's one cocktail mistake you see people make all the time?
Oh, thank you for asking that. Under absolutely no circumstance do you ever use anything other than fresh lime juice that you squeeze yourself out of a lime.
No.
Like, you can't even buy organic pre-squeezed lime juice because the citrate they put in it, or the preservative is because lime is so acidic, it alters the taste. You can buy pre-squeezed orange juice. I'm okay with that. Grapefruit juice all day long. Limes, you have to squeeze yourself, always. It will make the biggest difference in your cocktail.
Good to know. And last one is, and what's one unexpected 21 Seeds cocktail combo everyone should try?
You guys got to try our Negroni made with the Valencia orange. So this is for all my non-gin drinking girlies out there who've often been jealous and sad and envious. They can't hold what I think is one of the most beautiful cocktails, which is a Negroni with like a giant ice cube, gorgeous slice of orange peel, and like a maraschino cherry or like Luxardo cherry. It's just such a sexy drink, but I cannot stand gin. And I find Negronis to be too like cough syrupy, because the recipe for a regular Negroni is 1-1-1. 1 ounce gin, 1 ounce sweet vermouth, 1 ounce Campari. And what we do, the recipe's on our website if you guys want to check it out, but what we do is we do 2 ounces, or you can do 1.5, of the Valencia orange,
Okay.
half ounce of Campari, half ounce sweet vermouth, and add a half ounce of orange juice to it. And it is so freaking good. It's lighter, it's still gorgeous. It like has the flavors of a Negroni, but light. It's just so good. Really, really good.
I'm not a gin drinker. And so a Negroni for me, I'm like, nope, just never. But I love how beautifully orange it is.
Exactly.
I'm like, I just wish.
And one other one is try an espresso martini with the Valencia orange instead of vodka. And it's so refreshing. It's like, it reminds me of, you know, those oranges in Italy that they would dip in chocolate?
Yes.
Like it kind of has like a hint of, it just has the slightest hint of orange, but it's still very much an espresso martini. You just swap out whatever your recipe is, just swap out the vodka for the Valencia orange, and it's insane. Really great for the summer.
Love that. Kat, my last question for you is, you three co-founders, what are you excited about for the future of 21 Seeds? What are you guys hoping to grow and do?
Yeah. So we've got a lot of growing to do. You know, now we're owned by a global spirits brand, Diageo, who owns brands like Casamigos, Don Julio, you know, Kettle One. So they're global. So my hope is that we can take, you know, 21 Seeds globally and really expose tequila to the rest of the world. Because right now, 80% of the world's tequila is still consumed in the United States.
Yeah.
So the rest of the world doesn't really know it yet. And I think because we are infused, and so it's like it's so much easier to drink, you know, it's a nice way to get tequila overseas, and we can go over there and make some delicious margaritas all around the world.
Love that. Kat, I can't thank you enough for sitting down with me and letting me dive into everything that you three have created and all of this. I'm so appreciated, and I can't wait for everybody here to go get their hands on a bottle and make their own cocktails.
Yes, please do it. And you can pretty much get it anywhere. And you can always find us on our website, 21seeds.com, or our Instagram, if you ever need help figuring out where to find a bottle.
I love it. I love it. You guys, I'm going to have all of their socials down below. Please go give them a follow. Go check them out. And as always, I will see you guys back here next time. Bye, y'all.